The Golden Knights are in the midst of an historic win streak, but VGK could face a very big test tonight as the much improved Philadelphia Flyers come in and they tangle tonight. VGK and the Flyers at T-Mobile Arena. We'll talk about that. We'll break it down, plus much, much more in today's edition of Locked On Golden Knights.
Your Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hi again, everyone. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick from Las Vegas. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day. Find us wherever you get your podcast, and please subscribe to the Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel. We are brought to you today by the Gametime app. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use the promo code Locked On NHL for $20 off of your first purchase. So, Chris, 6-0 Vegas Golden Knights are back at home tonight after a 2-game road swing. Flyers are a surprising 3-1-1 early in the season, and they lead the Metropolitan Division, but I think maybe 2 or 3 teams can leapfrog them if they have an L tonight. And the Flyers on a lower scale are getting a lot of different heroes, if you will, each and every night. In the 4-1 win over Edmonton, it was Cam Atkinson who had a couple of goals. Real interesting statistic in the overtime loss to the Stars. Philadelphia scored 3 shorthanded goals, 2 by Travis Konechny, and the first time 3 shorties in a game in 27 years for the Flyers. VGK's never had 3 shorthanded goals in a game, have they? I don't think so.
3? I don't know. I think 2 is probably the number. If there's max, 3, someone can tell us. Just what I find interesting looking here at the Flyers roster. So again, I collect cards, and you guys know my business. And I get this card. This actually is totally unrelated, but look at that card we pulled last night. It's like a dual Adidas patch, 2 players. Really, really cool. But anyway,
how much was street value? Street value?
Nickel, $500, something like that, maybe.
Nice.
So it's a good card. But anyway. How this connects to what I'm going to say here, these are all players of cards we've been pulling recently: Konecny, Sanheim, Zamula, Farabee, Bobby Brink, Noah Cates, Cam York, Tyson Forrester. That's a big rookie in one of this year's products. Morgan Frost is a recent rookie. So point being is the Flyers are building and rebuilding their organization, Tony, through youth and through the draft. And this is just an example that there are multiple ways to do it right as a general manager. Danny Briere is doing a good job at making moves to help. I mean, if they do something this year, great, good for them, right? I don't know if this is sustainable. There you go again, Tony. But right now the Flyers are off to a good start. Briere has a unique situation right now for the Flyers because they got some cap space available. There's bad contracts out there. So you better bet he's going to be a buyer for additional draft capital as the season progresses. I mean, they're not projected to be competitive until Mishkov works his way into the NHL after his KHL deal ends in a couple of years. So this is going to be interesting to see where the Flyers do end up. Looking at some of the points, Konecny leads with 7 points right now. Couturier, I don't think he's ever going to not be a Philadelphia Flyer. It seems like Travis Sanheim. Basically, they have 3 defensemen in their top 6 in scoring right now. So that says something about where they're getting some contributions from. And this is a trap game, folks. This is the definition of a trap game. This is probably already in Tony's notes, and I jumped the gun on him here. But point being is, first game back from a road trip is always tough, no matter what. Look at what happened with the Chicago Blackhawks. Decent game, got tired, and obviously the Golden Knights did what they did. Later game for the Flyers, but I don't think that's going to matter a whole lot.
11 o'clock p.m. Eastern time.
But I was talking to Marsh about this yesterday at practice, and they start at 10 o'clock all the time, 10 and 10:30 all the time. So is the extra half hour, an hour that big of a deal to these guys? Another point Marsh had is that their travel schedule on the East Coast is so light. They don't do these West Coast trips a ton. A lot of their trips can be done by bus. That's how close a lot of these teams on the East Coast are. So sure, this is a tough spot, but Philadelphia has it much easier than teams on the West Coast when it comes to amounts of miles traveled for games. So Tortorella is going to have something up his sleeve for tonight. Think about last year's game when the Golden Knights and Flyers played at T-Mobile Arena. I think it was a 2-2 game. Marchessault scores the game winner in overtime, but just a muddy game. There was no room in the neutral zone, no room to, get odd man rushes. The Golden Knights are a rush team. Tortorella is really good at limiting the rush. So this is going to be a boring East Coast hockey game tonight, guys. It's going to be a boring East Coast hockey game. No room in the neutral zone. We'll see which coach blinks first and makes an adjustment.
The Flyers have the services of Sean Couturier back, and he's healthy. He missed 22 months with a herniated disc injury, good two-way forward, and they're happy that he's returned. They unloaded Ivan Provorov in the offseason. It was a 3-team trade with Columbus. Sean Walker has been the surprise, the defenseman. He had shorthanded goals, Chris, in back-to-back games. One of just 3 defensemen to do that in NHL history. And the staple in that trade was no other than your favorite player, Hayden Hodgson. He was involved in that deal because the Kings.
He's not very good. He's not that good.
He's not. No, he's not very good. Okay, so yesterday you had an opportunity to speak with Ivan Barbashev.
Yes.
What did you ask him? And I just want to know what his reaction was.
So talked to Barbashev yesterday, and the way I framed the question I thought was fair to his situation right now.
Now, did you ask him this in English or Russian?
I did.
I know you're very fluent
yes,
in Russian.
Yes. No. The question
was this on his yacht? Was this on his yacht?
It was not on the yacht, and
okay.
Those girls weren't there, nor was the Stanley Cup. So the question was, you've been moved off the top line 2 of the last 3 games. Is this a situation where the coaches tell you that they're just simply looking for a spark, or is there a conversation that happens as to why they're telling you things are getting moved around? And Barbashev conceded that he and the top line need to be better right away. He was very professional about the conversation, didn't give me the look of, hey, who's this guy asking me this nonsense? It wasn't anything like that. I thought he handled himself extremely well. But the conversation was the top line's got to be better. Things are going well, but we could be doing more as a unit. And then to back this up, I did ask Coach Cassidy about this. And Cassidy, of course, gave about a 2-minute answer by the time the dust settled in all of this. And what got me about this whole thing was right away, Cassidy, like people were jumping on me on Twitter showing the money puck, that how the money puck stats on how the top line is like the best rated line in the NHL. Did a little stat digging. They got 10 points between them. 10 points. They're averaging 1.6 points a game as a unit, which is down half of what it was in the playoffs. Cassidy himself made the comment, we can't expect what they did in the playoffs, but we can expect more. Cassidy also said he sat down the top line and told them they need to be better. And there was a conversation that took place. So you look at all these things right now that are going on. Oh, and the last part about this, I almost forgot about probably my personal part. So, and this is Tony, this validates what you said, Tony. You ready for this? My follow-up question to Cassidy was, do you feel, because Jack Eichel is currently leading the league in shots on goal, do you feel that his increased shot taking is causing issues potentially with the chemistry of the line? And Cassidy said it could be. And the comment was that it's kind of changing the way everything is happening. He wants Eichel to take the right shots. And when Eichel's taking shots, it could be limiting touches for Barbashev and Marchessault. So Tony gets some credit here, folks. Tony kind of, admittedly, both of us were kind of spitballing in the show. I think it was last Thursday. I say screw it and turn an article and blame Eichel for Barbashev struggling. But we validated part of this, guys. It's still a little bit of a stretch, but at the end of the day, The top line is playing difference. And I don't care what Money Puck says. They got 10 points between them right now, guys. They got 10 points as the top line. I'll say this. I said this yesterday. Tony agreed with me, I think, by the way he looked at me. There would be changes on that top line if it was not for the team being 6-0 right now. End of story.
For sure. Absolutely. Alex Pietrangelo was on the ice yesterday. How does he look, and when will we see his return?
He looked good. Coach did talk a little bit about how he looked out there, and what Coach Cassidy was impressed about was the fact that Pietrangelo not only finished the practice, he stayed out there at the end and was working with the defensemen. So he was the first one on the ice, got a nice little ovation from the 50 or so people in the crowd, and then did his thing, looked good out there, chirping the boys. And Marchessault never stopped running his mouth yesterday either, which was fun. nor did Paul Cotter, for that matter. But back to Pietrangelo, out there the entire time. Cassidy does not envision Pietrangelo playing tonight, Tuesday, but I'm guessing he rejoins the team Thursday. It probably plays the back-to-back Friday and Saturday.
One person that will not be in attendance tonight, they won't have to move the siren for him to crank, is Bill Foley. He's in Bournemouth today and potentially firing Areola, the head coach of Bournemouth. He's going to Gerard Gallant him and send him back in a taxi cab.
So Foley, McPhee, and McCrimmon were all on the VIP deck yesterday too. So maybe he was asking McCrimmon, what would you do in this circumstance? Maybe he was getting some advice.
We do want to send out some best wishes to Rick Bonus on a leave of absence. His wife suffered a seizure, and Scott Arnell is behind the bench tonight for that team, and we want to wish him the best of luck. Coming up next, it is Frozen Frenzy Day. All 32 teams will be in action with staggered start times, and we'll talk about it next right here on Locked On Golden Knights. Gametime is the only ticketing app that gives you complete peace of mind with your purchase. Gametime has deals on tickets right up until the start of the event, and even an hour after it starts, it's the place to find last-minute seats. Find exclusive flash deals and sponsored deals on tickets for football, basketball, NHL, of course. Take a look at that Gametime app tonight because they've had some pretty good value deals on VGK games. And with zone deals, you pick the section and Gametime picks the seats for an average of 18% savings. And the Gametime guarantee, that means that you will always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Gametime will credit you 110% of the difference. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app today, create an account, use the promo code LOCKEDONNHL. You'll get $20 off of your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem with the code LOCKEDONNHL, $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. And we are also brought to you by AG1, the daily foundational nutritional supplement that supports whole body health. I literally drink it every day. Gave AG1 a try once, and I really liked it. And it definitely gives me a boost in energy, and it helps to support my immune system, and it gives my body the nutrition that it craves, truly. And like I said, I just really like it too because it does help me to sleep better. And it's a micro habit that delivers macro benefits, and it helps just about everybody take great care of their health each and every day. If a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, then try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1.com/NHL Network. Drinkag1.com/NHL Network. Check it out. Welcome back. Tony Cardasco, Chris Golick from Las Vegas. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day. We appreciate you doing so. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. That is Locked On Golden Knights. And I know that things are cooking there. Had some comments there about William Karlsson. No? On the YouTube channel?
There's always comments about William Karlsson. What did I send you? I sent you a screenshot. What was it of?
I just said that we kind of glossed over him in yesterday.
Oh no, it was I think it was on yesterday's show. So like right away, like listen, folks, we've both dogged William Karlsson. Tony a little more than me, but I've certainly been on that train, at least prior to the playoffs last year when he finally earned his contract. But point being is, in the show yesterday, like when you said William Karlsson scored a power play goal, you didn't make a face, you didn't laugh, you didn't say there was an empty net or anything like that. You just said William Karlsson.
I was a reporter. I went in reporter mode.
No, but my point is, though, like, it was as fair as we've been for a long time about it. We still got dogged for it.
Oh no, but I did also point out that he slacked on the Connor Bedard.
He was way out of he was
way out of position.
Yes.
And then when he approached the puck, he didn't even try lay out to try.
Oh, it was done. It was done. The shot was gone. There's nothing that was going to happen at that point. But yeah, no, it was a bad play by Karlsson. It was a bad. It was. I mean, after a faceoff, why are you going below the blow line? The goal line is the first question, and there was two others. Whatever. I mean,
no idea. And so today is a big day for the second time in NHL history. I think last year was April the 23rd. Correct me. I don't know. I think it was April 23rd when all of the teams in the NHL first played. And then this season, they're going to do this twice. But today they are going to have staggered start times beginning at 3:00 Pacific time. And that's why VGK is starting so late. They're the final game of the day. And we've got
against an East Coast team,
Frozen Frenzy, which sounds like Frozen Fury, which used to be the exhibition game here in Vegas, right? So they will have the equivalent of whip around coverage today, all 32 teams in action. But why? I just don't understand this. And then tomorrow on the schedule, one game. This is kind of silly.
Yesterday was one game too, I think, right?
ESPN will have a triple header. Starts again at 3, Caps in Toronto. And then they'll have a lot of coverage on ESPN Plus after 5, and then go to ESPN2, and games will be starting in 15-minute intervals, I guess. So the big salami, we don't care about this schedule, who plays, whatever. The truth of the matter is we are more concerned about a total number of goals for the big salami, the total number of goals. So you have some info for us.
I do, yeah. So a number I found out there in the wild was 103.
103?
103 divided by 16 games is an average of 6.43 goals a game.
Jeez.
When I checked this morning, there's a couple of games that do have a 7 out there. I don't know if there's any 5s out there. Some 5.5s. Most of them fall in that 6.
There's no 7, or there is a 7.
I thought there was a couple 7s out there tonight.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, there's huge scoring in the NHL.
And the Golden Knights, what is that total?
6. Over under 6.
Okay.
Over under 6. I think that game goes. I mean, if it comes down to, we had this happen last year, Tony. Once I remember, I was on. I was on the press box. I was on the press box for a grand salami situation, and I believe I don't know if it was probably William Karlsson, but I needed an empty net goal to get the over on the salami.
I remember.
And it might have been. It might have been the William Karlsson empty netter.
Wait, it was. But remember, set this up the right way.
Yeah, I know. You got the better
side. Over, and I said it'll probably go over. It was actually, I think it was a Marchessault empty netter. I believe so. Either Marchessault or Karlsson. Okay. But I said it's going to go over on an empty net goal, and it did by a half a puck. I mean, that was
awesome.
Stupid.
So that's what makes sports betting so much fun, guys.
There's other props too, right?
There's other props. Here's the funny thing, guys. Really funny story, really quick, and then we'll get to some props. But Tony hits me with in our show planning mode with our napkins and stuff. He hits me up and says, "Hey, Frozen Frenzy second segment." I respond. I gloss it really quickly. I was doing something else. I'm like, I got nothing for the Frozen Frenzy. And Tony's like, just get the grand salami number and we'll be good to go. Okay, fine, whatever. I didn't put 2 and 2 together. I was thinking like Frozen Fury, Frozen 4, like the college thing. Like,
it's a stupid name. I
got so confused. And then this morning it hit me. I'm like, oh, Frozen Frenzy is the NHL term for all the games today. So yeah. All right. So the other bets that I found that I thought were kind of fun today, I got a couple of bets that I like. I'll throw out there and we'll see if we can make a little money as a team today. So you have the salami. We talked about that. The total number of power play goals. I find this one interesting. 22.5 power play goals. So you need a goal in every game, basically. And then the Edmonton Oilers get 6 power play goals and you'll get there.
Yeah.
You like how I do that? And then the other one, I like this one. Home goals versus away goals. The home side is a minus 2.5 point favorite, 2.5 goal favorite. That side, though, is minus 110, but the away goals are minus 120. So they're giving you got to pay more juice to get more goals. So it's going to be a fun day. Like, that'd be really fun if you make all 3 or 4 of those bets and you're willing to invest a little time to at least scoreboard watch and enjoy the games. But I found 3 games quickly that I kind of like from a betting perspective. I love fading the public as long as the line is like in that plus 130, 140 range or less. If it's a big dog, I don't touch it. Washington Capitals, terrible, awful, not playing well, getting their butts kicked every game.
Has
Ovechkin has 9
Ovechkin even
shots
had
on
a
goal.
shot on goal this
He's
season?
got 9 shots in 4 games. He averages 4.7 shots a game.
And
this year he's averaging 2. And he went 2 games, no shots on goal.
Wow.
2 games, no shots on goal. Yeah, whoever that Caps coach is, he's gone. He's gone quicker than Woodcroft's going to be. So Capitals at home.
Woodcroft's number 1.
Yeah, he's toast. The Caps at home are a plus 146 dog, and only 28% of the public likes them. So there you go. We're on the Caps tonight. Buffalo Sabres, another team, terrible start. The problem was before Eichel, while Eichel was there, and after Eichel. So stop blaming Eichel, Buffalo fans. It's your general manager. They suck. Buffalo Sabres are plus 136 tonight against the Ottawa Senators. Senators are surging. Things are going well right now. Only 13% of the public likes the Sabres, yet they're only plus 136. So I like that game. And then the last game, I'm really dumpster diving today. I am really, really, really dumpster diving. So speaking of dumpster diving, I like the Oilers tonight too. Oilers are only getting 33% of the love from the public on the road in Minnesota. Everyone's counting them out because of no McDavid. Great spot to get Edmonton at value as basically a pick 'em. So those are my 3 bets tonight. Edmonton, Buffalo, Washington. We get 2 out of 3. We make a little money.
We get bonus bets from Chris. And on his way to Bournemouth, of course, Bill Foley stopped in Edmonton to fire Jay Woodcroft, I think. Why is VGK? Awesome. Why is VGK the final game of the night? There's other West Coast games.
Well, I don't mind VGK. I mean, listen, they're a Stanley Cup champ. Let's give them some props as far as being a draw right now. But like, I don't understand the draw to the East because this is a national TV game. I don't understand the draw to the East Coast in this game to watch the Flyers at 11 o'clock, unless they think that's going to keep people around, I guess. I don't know. So that's kind of where I'll start my perspective. But I thought it would have made a lot more sense if they would have played a Pacific or at least a Central Division team. But I don't know. Maybe the NHL just thinks by having an East Coast and a West Coast team, it's going to draw. I don't know. I don't mind it being the last game. I just don't understand the opponent in this situation. Like Vegas Edmonton, what a spot for Vegas Edmonton tonight. What a spot.
Yeah, that would have been pretty cool. Coming up next, we have our locks of the night and predictions. It comes your way next, right here on Locked On Golden Knights. Snap into action this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place just a $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get into the action than now. The app is so easy to use, plus they pay you right after the game, and there's a wide range of betting options, including point spreads, player props, over-unders, we call them totals here, and much, much more. So visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, the official betting partner of the National Football League. Welcome back, Locked On Golden Knights. We appreciate everyone tuning in. Thanks for making us your first listen. Find us wherever you get your podcast, and find us wherever we have that FanDuel Sportsbook add-on for an eternity. That's pretty cool.
It wasn't an eternity, Tony. I just put it on like 6 seconds ago, so I'm giving him extra time right now.
Brought to you by FanDuel.com/lockedon. FanDuel Sportsbook. Is that good? Okay, thanks, man.
Sorry, FanDuel.
Get rid of that graphic. Oh, all good. So, Chris, we've got the game tonight, 11 o'clock East Coast time start for Philadelphia. Flyers, I think, take the early lead. VGK closes it out in a 4-3 final. Do we have a total on shorthanded goals? Is there a total for shorthanded goals tonight? Because it might go over just in the Flyer game alone.
Did you call it Flyers or Golden Knights, Tony?
I'm going to take VGK closing it out 4-3 final, 2 shorthanded Flyers goals, and I'm going to go with Barbashev and with Carrier.
We agree on one thing at least. All right, so
we agree on 2 shorthanded goals.
We agree on Carrier.
Okay.
Carrier. I think it's a game where the Golden Knights get at least 1 or 2 just greasy drive to the net type goals, maybe a tip in, a frozen frenzy fury in front of the net, something weird like that, So it's going to be a weird game tonight. I don't think it's going to be a track meet by any means, but who knows? 4-3, that's obviously a pretty high scoring game. For me, I like Carrier and Amadio. I'm going to stick with the greasy goals, just, everything I just said a second ago. I'm going to stick to my guns here. I'm taking the Flyers tonight. The streak ends, Golden Knight fans. I'm sorry. I am sorry. I hate to do this. Even Chris is mad at me right now. I can see him shrugging his shoulders.
What does Chris's shirt say? What's that shirt say, by
Just
the
an
way?
Under Armour shirt, that's all. Just an Under Armour shirt.
Cool.
So let's go Carrier and Amadio. I'm going 3-2 Flyers, folks. If I'm wrong, great. So Allie's still sleeping. We'll get her picks later, but she's probably the one you really want to listen to because she's perfect. I think the rest of us are teetering. I think me and you are 3-2, and Chris is 2-3 because he took the Blackhawks over the weekend. And Allie's 5-0 right now.
Yeah, that's a good dude right there. He should go wake up his sister because I like her when she's grumpy. She's great.
They've been playing grumpy lately, haven't you? Eye roll.
All right, Chris. Wow.
What do you got tonight? Yeah, no, he's getting too old for his own good. All right, Chris, what do you got tonight, buddy?
3-0 VGK.
Wow, 3-0 VGK. Give me 2 players, Chris. What do you like?
Carrier and Hill.
Carrier and Hill's we're gonna get a goalie goal tonight?
Goalie goal. I like that.
All right, Chris called the goalie goal. I'm writing it up.
He's so confident about it.
Carrier and Hill, 3-0 VGK, and we got a goalie goal. Mic drop. He's gone. Don't sign the door.
That was awesome.
There we go. Allie, I'm sure is on VGK. I'm not sure. I guess I shouldn't.
She's
lock that in, but
fan base. Her fan base is growing. You see all those shout outs?
She's perfect.
Yeah,
she's perfect.
Great.
She's perfect.
I like
both
her
my kids are perfect. Sorry, I have to say that, but she's perfect.
I like it when she just kind of dismisses everyone and just whatever.
Welcome to my life as being her father.
Carter Hart against VGK, 2-1-1 career-wise, 2.73 goals against average.
He had a
47 save game against the Golden Knights.
Was that last year, or was that under the Pete DeBoer era?
No,
that sounds like a DeBoer game.
Yeah. I think it was in 21, perhaps. I think so.
It sounds like the type of game where, like, the busiest person besides Carter Hart is whoever does the laundry for the Philadelphia Flyers to wash the uniforms, because all the Golden Knights did for such a long period of time was shoot at the goalie's crest. So they had to clean the logo off every game.
That's your guy. I'm not gonna say anything, but okay. That's the improvements that Bruce Cassidy has brought to this team, because your guy, Vegas Bjorn, would always just try to aim for the crest. Expect a very physical game tonight. Very physical, heavy forechecking, physical game. And
Muddy neutral zone.
Yeah, and Pete DeBoer the other night said, he might have said it best. He said that this Flyers team applies pressure all over the ice. Enough said. But they might peter out. They might get tired in the third period. Is Marchessault going to get interviewed again between periods and say, oh, yeah, we're better than this team, we'll beat them?
I mean, listen, of all the things about the Golden Knights Blackhawks game, that was the one that made the most sense. I mean, no disrespect to the Blackhawks, but they're not as good as the Golden Knights. They're not projected to be anywhere near the playoffs. And Marchessault is confident. I mean, although Marchessault was tripping Cassidy at the practice yesterday, that was pretty fun.
So tell us what happened there. So they're getting along again?
They're getting along again, it seems like.
They're playing in the sandbox together?
They're playing in the sandbox. So they do something where basically, I think it was like they're doing 2-on-1 drills where they do rushes on both sides of the ice. And whatever happened, Marchessault would have just had an open breakaway. And freaking Cassidy poke checks him. And all you hear from Marchessault, bros, just yelling at him and stuff. And oh yeah, I mean, Marchessault never shuts up. He does not shut up
so much, right?
And I mean that in a positive way. Like, he's just so much fun to watch in practice.
And he was checking again. He was checking Carlson into the boards. He checked
everybody. He checked Carlson. Him and Nick Waugh had a face-to-face. Him and Howden almost dropped the gloves. I mean, it was a very typical Marchessault practice where by the end of the practice, everyone on his own team wants a piece of him.
Okay, with the front office trio looking on, was there any concern, or why were they they look so attentive there?
No, I mean, listen, Foley owns the team. He's hanging out, wants to, he's the boss. He wants to hear what his boys think about things, McCrimmon and McPhee. And I mean, there's not a whole lot to talk about right now. I mean, the team's 6-0. I know McCrimmon's mind is always working, always looking for ways to improve the team. But I think the focus right now is if A happens, what's our contingency plan? If one of our top 3 centers go down, who takes that role? If Mark Stone goes down, folks, we have to acknowledge this. If Mark Stone goes down, what's the plan? Like, I'm guessing these are more the conversations happening, or with the goaltending if something happens with Hill or Thompson. I mean, these are the types of things now where if you get complacent and just assume it's going to be a good season, it all comes crashing down pretty fast. But that's where we should have a lot of faith in what the 3 people in the VIP booth do for this team, organization, and city.
One final question. Mark Stone, we know he's had those repeated back injuries and surgeries. How is he playing, do you feel? And what is he like in practice? Is he pretty loose, or could you see anything? Because last year we were able to tell that his body was starting to break down, right? Correct?
Yeah, I mean, Stone looks good right now. Early concerns, I pointed this out. I felt there's been multiple circumstances where he's been beat to pucks, whether it's preseason or regular season. He's been beat to pucks, lost board battles and things like that. Now, coming off all these surgeries and stuff, it's October the 24th. So we know, like Phil Kessel last year, Phil Kessel turned it on as the season progressed. We know Mark Stone is maybe taking a page out of that book where he wants to preserve a little bit. And it's not just about him. We know Martinez can do that. We know this team, when they turn it on, is a force to be reckoned with. You want to argue about that? Look at the playoffs last year. In October 24th, are the games as exciting? Of course they're not. But maybe they're starting to get there. They're 6-0. I guess the only concern right now, as dumb as this might sound, is if they do go on this crazy winning streak and really start applying themselves, will that cause fatigue issues later in the season? I don't know. I mean, Cassie said it great in I think it was in the post game after, I don't know if it was Saturday's Blackhawks game or Thursday's Winnipeg game, talking about the streak. And it's like, it's cool now, but no one's going to think about this in January. It means nothing. So,
good point.
Cassie's keeping the team grounded right now, which is good.
Yes.
If they go on this crazy winning streak, hopefully it doesn't slow them down later.
We appreciate everyone tuning in. Coming up on tomorrow's show, we will have a recap of the Flyers game tonight, if Chris is awake yet, because it's going to be a late night there.
We're taking a nap today. We're taking a long nap in the bed today.
Pretty smart to
do.
do.
Sold. I'm so grumpy.
We thank the everydayers, the folks that put up with us each and every day. And also on Fridays, don't forget it's WTF Day. What the Friday? For my man, Chris Golick, I'm Tony Cardasco from Las Vegas. We'll see you again tomorrow right here on Locked On Golden Knights. Take care.